Hey guys, Disler Magic here, and the question on everybody's mind, especially people who watch this channel, oh my gosh, we want to know, did Amonkhet fix Standard? Well, one, the ban of the Saheeli Cat combo, fixed it a little bit. I mean, honestly, people are acting like it was the end of the world. They kind of forgot about the other degenerate decks. I would say maybe that was 10% of what was wrong with Standard. Seriously, I mean, a shock spell could stop that combo. It shouldn't have been in the game. It was an accident by their own admission, but it was the tip of the iceberg. So my number one benchmark is, did Amonkhet up the variety of playable decks? Are there a lot of options, a lot of different mechanics? Are they kind of different-ish from each other? And, you know, that's the basis for how fun is the Standard meta and how fair is it? Oh, hell no, it did not do that. I mean, I hate to spoil the ending 56 seconds in, but oh my god, no. It made it so much worse. So, first of all, Embalm. Garbage, nobody plays it. Exert. To a very limited extent, people play it, but they're not playing a 100% Exert deck. They're not, like, always watching Red-White Exert. That is not a thing. They're just adding it to make, like, degenerate speed decks even more degenerate. So everybody and their grandma can put together a like $30, rush deck that's red focused, mix it with just about anything, any kind of other spells, any color of control, and they will win on turn 4. And if they don't win on 4, oh my god, will they win on turn 5? Like, even if they played it wrong, kept a bad hand, and built their deck wrong, they'll still win on turn 5. I mean, that guy that's a 4-1, you can grant him haste with like 8 different methods and then swing, take a whole entire extra turn, swing again, and win one entire turn earlier. That deck seems to come back from removal too, because a lot of people are playing just early game removal because they want to stop their opponent and kind of win in the mid-term, not even long-term, but mid-term. But somehow they seem to just be able to keep dropping in stuff. Like one time I killed the first 4 creatures that came out and still lost on like turn 7 because they just kept coming. That's not really how red's supposed to work. Like the red wins decks, as they call it. There's burn decks, which is like spells to the face. And then there's red wins, which is typically just highly aggressive red creatures. And there's obviously some crossover between them, except for right now where there is absolutely none whatsoever. Nobody is casting a spell at a person's face. So the only thing that can really stop them is like 1/1 Death Touchers, large first strikers, and life gain. That's it. Now that is pretty wide open. It's not like I'm saying it can't be beat, but holy crap does that narrow down what you can play. So already the build variety gets cut by, I'll say 75% at least, because of these turn 4 speed decks. Now, at a certain point, people will say, well, your deck, it just is too slow. I'm sure it's fun, I'm sure it's great, but it's too slow, too much in your deck costs 4, it's not realistic. You could call every deck faster than yours unfair because it's faster, but turn 4, everybody agrees, is way the hell too fast for Standard. Turn 4 is what Wizards themselves have stated is modern. Now, people are going to be stupid as hell in my comment section and still continue to insist that modern is a turn 3 format and Standard is turn 4. Those people are idiots. Word for word, Wizards themselves have said on multiple occasions that if anything wins earlier than turn 4 in modern, they will consider banning it. And if it wins way too consistently or often on turn 3, they absolutely 100% will ban it. So I don't want to get way into that, but Standard should win on turn like 5 to 8 if everything goes right. And if it went to turn 15, that's fine. That's why there's 50-minute rounds. Anybody saying, no, Standard, if it goes to 15, that's an anomaly, that's very abnormal. Not really. I mean, obviously you haven't played very many matches then. If it's an absolute shootout and both players have 12 cards of control, then guess what? You're going to turn 15 plus. So for Standard to be fun, you've got to let your opponent play their damn deck unless they're so bad at deck building that it's so slow that they just get obliterated because, turn 4 they finally got their first creature out or something. I mean, there is a limit to it, but, in general, did Amonkhet do anything to help the speed decks, the red speed decks? Oh, hell no! Red speed decks? Amonkhet is red speed decks. Those are practically the only worthwhile cards in the damn set. So that whole broken garbage exert thing that's like, hi, I'm going to win a whole turn earlier, woo, welcome to Modern, that just guarantees you're going to win on turn 4. I am so sick of it. And so there's actually multiple versions of this. So what I did to see what the state of Standard is, because everybody says, well, just wait for the Pro Tour. We'll see how healthy the Pro Tour results look. Screw the Pro Tour, screw net deck, screw the tournament results. I could look right now at what people are playing. You could just jump on MTGO and look at the statistics. I mean, those are done daily. But since I hate that and don't use it, because why the hell would I spend my money twice when I don't legally own anything I spend on in MTGO? That's called stupid. Oh, and the game doesn't work. Other than that, I jumped on Xmage and just hit spectate, watch on every single match that was going on at peak time. Everybody was playing the same 2 decks. Everyone. I don't mean everyone as like a hyperbole. I mean literally everyone. Every single person. 100% of the players, no exceptions. All of them were playing some form of like Lathnu Energy Exert Speed, or Red Ambush Boost Speed, or like Green Energy Heavy Red Splash Speed. And yeah, and it was just control. Some even added a third color, but it's just a control rampage while they're beating your face. So in a mirror match, it would be an absolute shootout, and basically whoever goes first would win. It's just as simple as that. So now we're into like legacy and vintage level stupidity where whoever goes first wins, you know, the majority of the time. So these speed decks, they're so like chimpanzee level operation where like a complete idiot who's completely new to Magic or is just terrible at the game, they could operate it. The decisions, if you would even be so generous as to call them that, are just obvious. It's just bring out creature, swing, do quick math. Would it benefit me to boost the creature or bring out another creature? Should I haste this one or that one? Which one does more damage? I mean, real simple, like 3rd grade level mathematics. So I think people are attracted to that because they don't like, you know, decisions, because they could look back on a game and say, oh, I actually should have done that first, then that, and done this, and then scried that to the bottom. And, you know, the more the decisions get heavier, the more it opens it up to you losing. Otherwise, it's just draw, luck, and deck design, and then you're just the pilot. I mean, the deck's practically on autopilot, which, hey, that sounds an awful lot like Modern. Yep. You, once again, do not want to have Standard resemble Modern or Vintage or Legacy, because why wouldn't people just play that? In fact, most, you know, longtime players have a Modern deck, so Standard turns into Modern, they're just not going to buy it, they're just going to play Modern. And from what I've heard, a ton of local gaming stores are switching over to Modern for Friday Night Magic. If they are running Standard, it's like Draft, or block constructed, block sealed, pseudo sealed, you know, something like that. By the way, why don't more local gaming stores, whenever there's 2 sets legal instead of 1 in the block, do block constructed? Block constructed is like a really good format. If you're wondering what it is, it's exactly what it sounds like. You can construct a deck only with cards from that block. So it would be Kaladesh Aether Revolt or Shadow's Eldritch Moon. And it's everybody plays with the same block, not, oh, pick a block that's legal and Standard. You can get away with some weaker decks because there's less options. It'll be pretty clear what the most powerful deck is, but then there's so little options and answers for stuff that it's a bit more of a game. I mean, it's not just an absolute blowout, super combo, broken, overpowered crap. And that is exactly what I would describe the release of Amonkhet as. So people just handpicked, you know, here and there, a couple cards. Nobody's going full-blown Amonkhet because the mechanics in the decks are garbage. They're just not competitive enough. And I wouldn't even say that, like, they're darn good decks. You know, some of these, like, -1 counters and Balm, 100% all-in Exert. You know, if you were to build 75% Amonkhet with support from other ones, those are good decks. I mean, like, they would have competed in, like, the Theros days. But they're overshadowed by the hyper-overpowered energy decks, Red Rush decks, and everything else that's legal right now. Honestly, it seems like red, white, blue without the cat combo. You take out the cat and put in 4 more counter spells, and you take out Saheeli and put in 4 more removal spells. Can you imagine what fresh hell that is? Because I've played against it multiple times before Amonkhet's release. Oh, and then he didn't like how long the rounds were going, so he put in the cat combo. Yeah. So I've played both ways, and honestly, without the cats, it's more likely to win. It will just take longer. That is absolutely my opinion on that. So, I mean, I kind of wanted to play some Amonkhet stuff, but, you know, like I said, block constructed, sealed, pseudo-sealed, Fat Pack Challenge, Planeswalker Challenge, although that one's a little sketchy, or Draft. It would be quite fun. Quite fun. I've done a couple Amonkhet drafts, and it's pretty cool. So anyway, what I see at my local F&M and any kind of event on any day at my LGS, very different than Xmage, very different than what people are talking about on forums. on Reddit, on Twitter, on MTG Goldfish. I mean, I looked everywhere to see just what people are interested in, mostly because, I mean, I also want to know what rares to hold on to, and it seems like zombies are pretty good. Although the one guy playing zombies at FNM got just destroyed. I don't know if his deck was just bad. I didn't play him, but I heard zombies is going to be like the #1 deck at the Pro Tour potentially, but I think red speed is going to be way up there too. The only problem is if enough people play red speed, like I said, coin flip, die roll, that's who determines who wins, because whoever went first has like a 75% advantage over the other person in a mirror match, because hello, it's red turn 4 rush. If you get a turn 4 and they haven't yet, you'll win. I mean, I can't really state that any simpler. So the problem with that is you'll win 4 rounds and you'll lose 4 rounds if it's nothing but mirror matches. I doubt it would get that far. So will those people actually make it to the top 8? Probably not. But will it be 50% of the crowd playing a version of Red Rush? Yeah, probably. So the popularity, the power, and the representation of that deck at FNM will be a lot higher than you would think based on the final results. But anything slow, I don't care how powerful it is, anything slow is going to get just destroyed because of that. So what will we see? Just the top tier, and nothing else can compete with it. Well, that sounds awfully familiar. That type of environment is what led to the Emrakul ban, the Reflector Mage ban, and the Smuggler's Copter ban. Damage in the air while overdrawing your opponent 2-1. Yeah, that's a little broken, especially when it's colorless. Sorry. Oh, a turn 4 free Emrakul where you get to destroy your opponent's hand and everything they have on the board because you get to control their turn. Yeah, that's a little much. And just white-blue control in general was OP. That was annoying. And now it's gotten 10 times worse. They might as well just unban Reflector Mage at this point because the deck is toxic with or without it. What they'd have to do to kill that deck at this point is like get rid of like Spell Queller and Torrential. But that deck still is a little bit slow, even with Spell Queller turning the odds like it's 4 cards instead of 1, because hello, damage in the air, additional blocker, and you just ate one of their cards and now you have more damage to swing with. That's crazy. So I think eventually Blue-White Spirits will have like a little bit of a resurgence, just a bit, because a lot of the spells cost 2 and white has severe combat superiority. Like even just Gear Shift, that's a 2/1 first striker. You could stop stuff with that. I think anybody wanting to play a different deck right now than what's popular will have to fill it with 1-cost Death Touchers, because that is the only thing, and I mean the only thing, trust me, I've looked, that can stop speed decks. And so then people are just going to start sideboarding in First Strike Boost. There's like 5 of them. So it looks like the whole standard meta in general is completely toxic. It's complete garbage. Everybody on X-Mage was, they had nothing good to say about their opponents. It was constant fighting, constant, just insults in the chat, people stalling out, timing out games. So anyway, I mean, basically that's X-Mage every day regardless. But, everybody on X-Mage is incredibly rude, immature, and annoying. Like they will spam join your lobby. They'll stall out your game by hitting request to see your deck 1,000,000 times in a row so you can't take an action. They'll just get up and leave and start a new table. So that you have to time out if you want to beat them. I mean, just like stupid little kid crap. And honestly, most of them are probably little kids, but still. Some of them are just incredibly psychotic, sociopathic adults. But everybody was like, oh good, this deck again. And then literally they're playing it. Like they're complaining about their opponent's deck and they're running it. It's like, wow, that's hypocritical. Just a little bit. I mean, they're like, oh, it's that deck again. God, another mirror match. What a waste of my time. Well, then play a different damn deck, but the problem is you can't, or you'll lose, you'll get run over. And that is the best illustration of the side effects of fast decks, what fast decks do to standard. And, I mean, at the end of the day, what's causing fast decks and control spam decks? Because it's kind of, there's a crossover. You can sacrifice speed for control and shut down your opponent, and then you can take until turn 5 or 6, and you probably will, and it's probably more stable. Or you could just Suicide Rush on turn 4 and hope you can just keep drawing stuff from the top of your deck to keep hitting them. I mean, both are perfectly valid strategies right now. I played a game where the first 12 spells, I counted, the first 12 spells were countered. Oh, countered or removed after the fact, okay? 12. One of the guys wasn't even running red, white, blue. He was running mono blue. Mono blue Torrential Gear Hulk Engulf the Shore. I wanted to kill this person by about turn 30, okay? It was the most toxic pile of garbage I've ever seen. And the funny thing is, I almost won because the deck was so damn slow. But, he would just return all of his torrentials back to hand. He would dump off that hieroglyphic garbage into the graveyard with cycling, target it, draw more cards, or anticipate, or glimmer, or a counterspell, disallow, redirect, the new one, or the old new one, or he would just do another Engulf the Shore. So I had like 15 creatures on the field. Okay, Engulf the Shore. He doesn't care. He gets, at one point, 4 Torrential Gearhulks in his hand. So 1, they need to ban Torrential Gearhulk, and then 2, they're going to have to ban like half the red cards that exist if they want to save this. So in other words, I'm not saying that seriously, I'm saying it's unfixable. To fix Standard right now, I mean, if I made a list of just the bare minimum cards they'd have to get rid of to slow the format down and allow people to actually build something, it's at least a dozen, if not like closer to 25. So what is the root of the problem? Well, 1, too many good cards, extremely good, hyper-powerful early game cards. So should they have designed a little bit weaker cards? Yeah, probably, but that's not really the problem. Why are there too many powerful cards? And also too much control. I would put those together. Hyper-powerful creatures and spells, and then way the hell too much control. Control is beyond out of control. Like, it was flirting with out of control before. Now it's like married to out of control now that Amonkhet came out. I mean, just the counter spells that Blue picked up, that alone, oh my god. There are so many creature removals, so much, white combat ambush sack, you got Blessed, you got Immolating, you got like 4 more versions of that. There's just too much everything. Well, why is that? Why are there too many good creatures? Why is there too much control? Well, it's very obviously because it's way the hell too easy to run 3-color right now. Way, way, way too easy. And every time they allow 3-color to be very easily a thing with no negative consequences, you get broken decks because you can run the best white creatures, the best red whatever, and the best black removal. Well, there you go. You got a perfect deck. And then your sideboard can contain anything because you're running 3 colors. Now, you guys know that the colors have crossover. Like, if you want to blow up an enchantment, there's 2 colors that do that. If you want to counter a spell, well, there's really only 1 color that does that. But if you want to, blow up an enchantment, blow up an artifact, those are 2 colors and 2 colors. If you want large, powerful creatures, you're looking at white-green. If you're looking for fast creatures, that's red. If you want card draw, that's blue/green. There's always a primary color and a secondary color for just about every major game mechanic. So if you just pick 3 colors, your deck can do quite literally everything. I mean, you can't say, oh, I wish I had flying creatures. No, you have flying creatures. Oh, I wish I had removal. Oh, you've got removal. And trust me, people have got removal right now. So why is 3 colors so easy to do? Oh, that's right, because 7 sets are legal right now. That is the root of the problem. It is at the very root level, that is what's wrong. Or it's, well, responsible for everything that's wrong with Standard right now. I would even say it's solely responsible because I know in the other video I made a huge mistake by stating that, oh, everybody's blaming the whole fact that there's 7 card pools to build from in the card pool or whatever. That's killing it because it's resulting in too powerful of decks and too good of creatures. But nobody's really playing BFZ and OGW. But, I mean, Gideon and the dual lands. The dual lands are it right there. They themselves are making 3-color way too good. And remember, when Amonkhet was designed, to the best of everybody's knowledge, they were intending BFZ and OGW to be illegal at that time. So when they were playtesting it, and they were designing it, and they were approving cards and sending them to the printer, they were assuming that BFZ and OGW would no longer be legal. So that's kind of 2 sides of the same coin. You know, it's, okay, there's 7 sets, and then specifically there's 7 sets including BFZ and OGW. Those are the root of all problems in Standard right now. If you were to eliminate just those, like that volume of dual lands, and some of the really exceptional spells from specifically BFZ, but also there's a couple in OGW too, like Reckless Bushwhacker, he's pretty good, then you would have a lot weaker Standard and people would be more open to build whatever the hell they want. So that is what is truly and sincerely and almost exclusively wrong with Standard right now, is that they're letting too many be legal. So, am I looking forward to the release of Hour of Devastation? Let me think about that for a second. An 8th set with nothing cycling out. I am almost definitely not even going to play Standard when that pile of garbage drops. All the degenerate, toxic garbage decks right now are going to get 1 set better, which is what's wrong with Amonkhet right now. It came out and Nobody jumped on pure Amonkhet. They're like, no, I'm just going to make my deck better. And oh, good, because Standard was so much fun before. So they're either going to have to ban a huge volume of cards, like enough that they'll really piss people off, or people will just have to run one of the top 2 or 3 decks and that's that. And we'll just have to wait until, what is it, Ixalan or whatever stupid name they freaking picked out. I'm just going to call it Narnia. Or Journey into Ix. I like that one. I like that one a lot. If they have the balls to name the second set in that block Journey into Ix, I will just like, oh my God. I'll never recover. I won't be able to get over that. That would be too funny. That would be like them really admitting that they don't take their own game seriously or give a crap at this point. So, I mean, the good news is we have 6 months before 4 entire sets fall out. And yeah, there's some pretty degenerate crap from Shadows and EMN. I mean, it's more like really good utility stuff, not like degenerate broken cards. I mean, Gisela's still annoying, and oh my God, the Avacyn card, that never should have been printed, just at all. I mean, Relentless, Thalia, yeah, I'm not going to miss that. So there's a couple real crucial pieces in BFZ, OGW, Shadows, and Eldritch Moon that are going to be lost that I think will power down these decks a little bit. So within about, 6-7 months, whatever it is, we'll be able to play Standard again, hopefully, because Kaladesh and Aether Revolt aren't that powerful by themselves, and Amonkhet just hits the off switch on it. I mean, you basically can't even play artifacts anymore. You mix the artifact removal from the actual Kaladesh block with the Amonkhet block, it's over for artifacts. So there goes half the decks. I mean, vehicles, they're gone. Servos, they're gone. Dynavolt, gone. Honestly, even Torrential Gearhulks, I don't think it'd survive that. So then all you're left with is Amonkhet, which, as I've mentioned, nobody's playing. So there you go. So the 3-color fixing will drop off, and that's the most important thing. But also some very detrimental cards that can go together to just play what I call a best-of deck. Those will be gone. And ask any pro if the problem right now with Magic is that people are running the best of blank and insert anything here. They will, if they know what they're talking about, completely agree with me. So at the end of the day, did Amonkhet do anything to solve Standard? Did it provide answers for existing decks? No, it clearly did the exact opposite. And the best example of that I gotta throw in at the end here is, according to Wizards themselves, which is, a pretty good source for absolute top-level statistics and answers about the game in some cases, they said, oops, Amonkhet came out and on MTGO in 2 days made the Saheeli Cat combo deck better. Nobody was like, ooh, look, Embalm is beating out the Cat combo. No, it isn't. Okay, let's be honest, it's not. All they did was take like 2 cards, throw it in, and make it worse. And like I said, everybody at my FNM, they all took their old decks, threw a couple more cards in, and made them even more powerful, even more degenerate, even more annoying, and even more fast. So Hour of Devastation is going to be a catastrophe, and I don't think it's going to sell very well. I mean, it's about 182 or 184 cards, I think. So that already is a big no-no. I might literally order, like I think I said 900. I might order like $400 worth. I mean, I can't order none. I think that's not even allowed. Don't even get me started on that because, oh my God, I could make a video about that little segment of my distributor's terms. But yeah, I think after that, Standard will return to normal. And there's nothing completely unfair about just Kaladesh or just Amonkhet. So unless Ixalan goes freaking nuts, I think we'll be able to play Standard then. So if you could just kind of, I don't know, what do they call that? Survive in the meantime, I guess. I'm sure there's some phrase I was trying to think of, but whatever. If you could just stick it out or whatever they say until some garbage cycles out and they take out the trash. All right. And by that, I mean, don't even play Standard, just go play Modern. So what do you guys think? What has been your local scene at your FNM, and what you've heard people are building and what you yourself are building and what you're winning against and losing to? Is it as bad as it is on the global scale and on the competitive scale? I mean, it looks to me like in my best prediction, the Pro Tour, assuming it's not going on right now, I actually didn't check because I really, big surprise, don't follow pro level Magic. It sounds to me like it's going to be mono black zombies or black white mixed zombies. It's going to be red rush and red green energy. That's about it. Maybe red white blue torrential loop. Also mono blue control loop or blue very slight splash control loop mix. I think that's all we're going to see winning. So that's a shame because that is not a fun standard meta at all. It pushes away new people, it pushes away creative people, brewers, rogue, deck builders, all those people, which is the majority of their players, by the way. Not a good idea to alienate the majority of your players, Wizards. Not a good idea at all. But things will improve in a couple months, so yay, I ended with a silver lining again. Also, bombshell, everybody. 25,000 subs is here, unless people got cute and thought, oh, he's at 25,001, I'm gonna unsub. Ha ha ha, I'm so funny, I'm an internet troll. I'm gonna go tell my mommy and post about it on Facebook. I mean, basically that describes everybody on Xmage. But yeah, expect a insane 25,000 sub video. I mean, insane. Like, this thing's all written, scripted, all that. If I can get them out there, you guys will meet my brother. Otherwise, I'll just, like, cast somebody else, I guess. It is going to be funny. It is going to be really funny. Also, I have actually a second 25,000 subscriber video that I'm going to film tomorrow, if there's no police around. I mean, I guarantee that video is going to end with us being like, okay, we got to get the hell out of here before somebody calls the police. Oh, and by the way, the neighbors almost called the police already after the Felidar Guardian video. Look that one up. So thank you guys for hitting 25,000. I've been waiting forever, but the YouTube algorithm unsub glitch has been just kicking me straight in the nuts for the last couple months. Every time I gain a sub, I lose a sub, and it's, from what I heard on Twitter in the comments, from hundreds of people, it's just people being unsubbed randomly because who the hell knows why. So thanks, YouTube. That helps a lot. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.